Charlemagne was born in 742, in a Europe fractured by the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Amid this chaos, he rose to become one of the most pivotal figures in European history, uniting the fragmented kingdoms and laying the groundwork for the continent we recognize today. Inheriting a legacy of leadership from his grandfather, Charles Martel, Charlemagne displayed early signs of ambition and strategic brilliance. Charles Martel, remembered for halting the Islamic advance at the Battle of Tours, passed down a martial tradition that Charlemagne would harness to transform his realm. When he became king of the Franks in 768, Charlemagne inherited a divided kingdom. Through diplomacy, warfare, and sheer determination, he consolidated power, bringing the fractured Frankish lands under one rule. His military campaigns were relentless and transformative, subduing foes like the Saxons, Lombards, and Moors. Though often marked by brutality, including forced conversions to Christianity, these conquests expanded his dominion into what is now France, Germany, Italy, and beyond. Charlemagne's vision extended beyond mere conquest. He aspired to revive the grandeur of ancient Rome, envisioning a united Christian empire. His alliance with the Church was central to this ambition. On Christmas Day in the year 800, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne Emperor of the Romans. This moment symbolized the fusion of spiritual authority and temporal power, marking the birth of the Holy Roman Empire. Beyond politics and warfare, Charlemagne was a champion of education and culture. His reign ushered in the Carolingian Renaissance, a revival of learning and the arts inspired by the classical traditions of Rome. He established schools, libraries, and centers of scholarship, ensuring the preservation and dissemination of knowledge. With the guidance of Alcuin of York, he developed a standardized curriculum emphasizing literacy, mathematics, and theology. Charlemagne also promoted Latin as a unifying language for administration and scholarship, ensuring the survival of classical texts through meticulous copying by monks. These efforts preserved works by authors such as Virgil, Cicero, and Tacitus, safeguarding them for future generations. He believed in education for all, including the lower classes. Schools were established throughout his empire, including in Aachen, his capital. Innovations such as standardized capital letters improved the clarity of written texts, making knowledge more accessible. However, Charlemagne's rule was not without controversy. His campaigns were marked by harsh tactics, particularly in his dealings with the Saxons, where forced conversions and mass killings left a stain on his legacy. Yet, his vision of a united and prosperous Europe set the stage for the development of modern nation-states. After nearly 50 years of rule, Charlemagne died in 814 at the age of 71. His empire, divided among his heirs, eventually fragmented, yet his influence endured. Charlemagne's efforts laid the foundations for the Renaissance and the European Union's ideals of unity and cooperation. Charlemagne's contributions extend far beyond the structures of governance and education. His emphasis on the preservation of classical texts helped bridge the gap between antiquity and the Middle Ages, ensuring that the knowledge of ancient civilizations would inspire future generations. Without his patronage, much of the intellectual heritage of Rome and Greece might have been lost forever. His cultural impact was equally profound. By uniting disparate peoples under a shared identity, Charlemagne fostered a sense of belonging that transcended tribal loyalties. This unity, built on shared language, religion, and law, sowed the seeds for the concept of European identity, an idea that still resonates today. Charlemagne also redefined what it meant to be a ruler. While many kings of his era wielded power through brute force, he blended military strength with intellectual curiosity and spiritual conviction. His dedication to learning, governance, and faith set a standard for monarchs who followed, influencing the ideals of kingship for centuries. One of the most striking aspects of Charlemagne's reign was his ability to adapt. Faced with a constantly changing political landscape, he balanced diplomacy and force, forging alliances with local rulers and neighboring empires. This pragmatism enabled him to manage a vast and diverse empire effectively, ensuring its stability during his lifetime. Despite his monumental achievements, Charlemagne was not without his contradictions. While he championed education and justice, he also employed harsh methods to maintain control, particularly in his campaigns against the Saxons. These acts of violence stand as a stark reminder of the complexities of power and the moral ambiguities of his reign. Charlemagne's emphasis on faith shaped the spiritual landscape of Europe. His insistence on the uniform practice of Christianity strengthened the Church's role in society, but it also left little room for religious plurality. His efforts to spread Christianity, often by force, were both a unifying and divisive force in the regions he conquered. In the centuries following his death, Charlemagne's legacy evolved into legend. Stories of his exploits were woven into medieval epics, transforming him into a mythical figure. From the Song of Roland to countless folk tales, Charlemagne became a symbol of chivalry, courage, and Christian virtue. His coronation as Emperor of the Romans marked a pivotal moment in European history. By reviving the imperial tradition, Charlemagne linked his reign to the legacy of Rome, creating a powerful narrative that legitimized his rule and inspired future leaders to aspire to the same grandeur. Charlemagne's influence can still be seen in modern Europe. His vision of a united and cooperative continent laid the ideological foundation for institutions like the European Union. The Charlemagne Prize, awarded to individuals who contribute to European unity, serves as a testament to his enduring relevance. Charlemagne's influence can still be seen in modern Europe. His vision of a united and cooperative continent laid the ideological foundation for institutions like the European Union. The Charlemagne Prize, awarded to individuals who contribute to European unity, serves as a testament to his enduring relevance. Charlemagne's enduring legacy continued to shape the future long after his death. Though his empire fragmented shortly after his reign, the institutions he established, such as the Carolingian Renaissance, served as a model for later rulers. His attempts to create a harmonious relationship between church and state laid the groundwork for centuries of ecclesiastical influence in European politics. His reign symbolized the ideal of Christian kingship, where monarchs were seen as protectors of the faith and enforcers of divine law. However, the empire's fragmentation also underscored a deeper challenge: the fragility of unity in the face of competing interests and external threats. The division of the empire among Charlemagne's grandsons following the Treaty of Verdun in 843 fragmented his realm into 3 distinct kingdoms, weakening the political cohesion he had strived to build. The ensuing centuries saw the rise of feudalism, the emergence of new kingdoms, and the gradual decline of centralized imperial authority in Europe. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne's legacy continued to resonate in the Christianized West. His vision of a unified Europe remained an aspiration, even as the political map of the continent shifted and evolved. The idea of a Holy Roman Empire persisted in various forms, influencing rulers from the Middle Ages to the early modern period. Many later European monarchs sought to emulate Charlemagne's blend of secular and spiritual authority, believing that the unification of Europe could bring peace and stability to the continent. In literature and art, Charlemagne's figure was immortalized as a model of Christian virtue, wisdom, and knightly valor. His connection to the medieval concept of chivalry and his role as a patron of the arts inspired generations of writers, artists, and thinkers. The legends surrounding him, such as those found in the Song of Roland, transformed Charlemagne into a symbol of the ideal ruler, a monarch who combined military prowess with moral integrity and devotion to the common good. By the time the Renaissance arrived, Charlemagne's memory was revered as that of a pioneer, a ruler who had helped guide Europe out of the Dark Ages into a new era of intellectual, cultural, and political change. His influence on the development of European identity continued to be felt, particularly in the efforts to forge a collective European consciousness. Even as new powers emerged, Charlemagne's story provided an enduring ideal of unity, governance, and faith. In the end, Charlemagne remains one of the most towering figures in European history, a ruler whose reign bridged the ancient world and the medieval, whose cultural and political innovations reverberated throughout the centuries, and whose vision of a united Europe still shapes the continent today.